You are watching the Friday edition of Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look at the news making headlines. First up, earlier today, the N12 experienced a temporary closure due to flooding and 3 suspects arrested for illegal mining during the Vala umgodi operations. In the business news, Kganyago said that inflation targeting relieves South Africa's economic crisis. And in the sports news, the Blitzboks set for the Hong Kong Sevens Challenge. We begin here. A warning was issued to motorists and residents earlier today by the city of Matlosana municipality regarding the temporary closure of the N12 road due to severe flooding resulting from recent rainfall. The impacted section of the N12 is located at the Lofdal entrance in Stilfontein. The municipality has stated that it is working closely with relevant authorities to monitor the situation and ensure the safety of all road users. Further updates will be provided as the situation evolves. In other news, the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda illegal mining task team, assisted by the explosive unit, arrested 3 suspects for illegal mining at Shivan Mine Dam in Klerksdorp during the Vala umgodi operation. The suspects were Zimbabwean and Mozambican nationals aged between 32 and 35. The Northwest Police spokesperson, Colonel Adel Maybar, said on the arrival at the mine, numerous persons were observed busy with illegal mining activities. Here's more.
On arrival at the mine, numerous persons were observed busy with illegal mining activities. On seeing the police, they fled from the scene, but police managed to arrest 3 suspects aged between 32 and 35. 2 are Zimbabweans and 1 is from Mozambique. On the premises, police found a variety of explosives, including 20 capped fuses, 20 blasting cartridges, 100 and 120 meters of detonating cord. Furthermore, 13 generators, 2 water pumps, and 5 mining drills were also confiscated. The suspects will appear before the Klerksdorp Magistrate Court today on charges of unlawful possession of explosives, illegal mining, and the contravention of Section 49 of the Immigration Act, that's Act number 13 of 2002. The Acting Provincial Police Commissioner, Major General Patrick Asaneng, applauded all members involved in the operation for the ongoing efforts that resulted in bringing the suspects to book. The public is advised to report crime, including through the South African Police Service Crime Stop number 08600 10111 or the MySAPS application anonymously. Extortion-related incidents can be reported on the extortion hotline on 080 091 1011. I repeat, 080 091 1011.
In more news, President Cyril Ramaphosa has emphasized the urgent need for a comprehensive national strategy to improve water security aligned to the Government of National Unity's Medium-Term Development Strategy 2025 through to 2029. He made these remarks at the Gallagher Convention Center in Midrand during the Water and Sanitation Indaba. In his keynote address at the opening of the 2-day event on Thursday, President Ramaphosa emphasized that the Operation Vulindlela prioritizes reforms in the water sector. These reforms are aimed at improving water quality, encouraging investment in the development as well as maintenance of water infrastructure, and strengthening the regulatory framework within the sector.
What is needed is an urgent and high-level national turnaround plan on water is that it should firstly align to the Government of National Unity's Medium-Term Development Plan 2025 to 2029. And secondly, that it should harness the momentum of the reforms in the sector. Operation Vulindlela has prioritized reforms in the water sector to improve water quality, to catalyze investment in the construction and maintenance of water infrastructure and strengthen regulation in the sector as well. Under the 6th administration, We reintroduced the drop water quality monitoring system as an important incentive. The reports are particularly important in an area where water resources are key to tourism, to agriculture, as well as to other sectors, and basically to the livelihood of our people. As part of the structural reform process that we are involved in, we have been able to significantly reduce the turnaround time for issuing water use licenses. When the business community came to us and said they are at times having to wait for 3 years before they get a water license, we immediately set up a reform team and asked the question, why does it take so long to have a water use license? And in the end, the process of reforming that regulatory framework has led to 75% of applications are now processed within 90 days. An additional 110 technical and scientific staff have been hired to support further process improvements. And we want, in the end, to see the water licensing process to be brought down to a month or even days. Once you have applied, everything must be done to give you that approval. And if you are refused, to give you reasons why you approved. That is how government should now function. We must function efficiently. We must function using technology. We must bring in modernity. But more importantly, we must bring in speed and remove fraud, as well as corruption in the whole sector. That is the direction in which we are headed, and we will get there.
In international news now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has suggested Ukraine be placed under a form of temporary administration to allow for new elections and the signature of key accords to reach a settlement in the war. Putin's comments during a visit to the northern port of Murmansk came amid the U.S. attempts to forge a settlement to the conflict by re-establishing links with Russia and engaging with both Moscow and Kiev in separate talks. The Kremlin leader said that he believed that the U.S. President Donald Trump truly wanted peace. Putin's suggestion of a temporary administration appeared to address his long-held complaint that Ukraine's authorities are not a legitimate negotiating partner, as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has stayed in power beyond the May 2024 end of his mandate. The White House National Security Council spokesperson asked about Putin's remarks on temporary administration, saying that governance in Ukraine was determined by its constitution and the people of the country. Let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, the Reserve Bank Governor Kganyago has defended the bank's inflation target, saying it has served the South African economy well. He has also strongly argued that the current 3% to 6% inflation target should be lowered. Kganyago explains that since the adoption of inflation target 25 years ago, the country's economy has experienced lower inflation. He was addressing the Reserve Bank's 2025 biennial conference in Cape Town yesterday.
Inflation targeting framework has served us well. Since its adoption in 2000, the South African economy has experienced lower inflation. As a result, we enjoy much lower interest rates. Back in 1998, the repurchase rate was above 20%. Today, the repurchase rate is just 7.5%, which is higher than the lows experienced during the pandemic, of course, but well below the averages of the previous decades. Inflation targeting has also reduced macroeconomic volatility, enabling the economy to better weather the severe economic shocks and crises of recent times, including the 2008 Great Financial crisis or the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. The benefits of inflation targeting have made it a popular framework for central banks, and the framework has become a global monetary standard, as our keynote speaker Claudio Borio will discuss. However, inflation targeting continues to be challenged, with central banks facing various competing demands, including faster economic growth and greater responsibility for financial stability. These have once again come to the fore for both advanced economies, which we will discuss in session 2, as well as emerging markets, which will be detailed in the third session. One particular issue that both advanced and emerging market economies grapple with is making sure that their targets are efficient and fit and good, and useful definitions of price stability are identified. Most advanced economies have settled on maintaining inflation targets at 2%, while emerging markets are closer to the 3% mark. Early adopters of inflation targeting have updated their frameworks to better reflect changing realities on the ground, with Armenia being the latest central bank to also reduce its target to 3%. In this respect, the South African target is now rather dated, reducing our competitiveness and opportunity to generate faster and more sustainable growth.
In rugby news, Blitzboks head coach Philip Snyman has formulated a strategy for this week's Hong Kong Sevens, with 19-year-old Gino Cupido playing a pivotal role as he prepares for his debut. The team is poised to demonstrate their capabilities as they compete against Uruguay, Australia and New Zealand in their pool at the 5th HSBC Sevens tournament, now being held at the new 50,000-seat Kai Tak Stadium. Snyman has meticulously planned for the matches, testing their opening day strategy against Uruguay as well as Australia during the training sessions. Additionally, Snyman is incorporating a new element into his game plan, enhancing the team's competitive edge. And moving on to soccer news now, we take a look at this weekend's fixtures. Chippa United will be hosting AmaZulu at the Buffalo City Stadium in East London, while Golden Arrows will see off Kaizer Chiefs at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. On Sunday, Polokwane City will be playing against Richards Bay at the old Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, with TS Galaxy playing against Marumo Gallants at the Mbombela Stadium, that's in Nelspruit. And that's where we're going to have to leave it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. The team will be back again on Monday evening. Till then, have a blessed weekend. Good night and take care.
Cut.